Hello, hello. Alrighty. Welcome to All Signs Tarot, you guys. I have decided to come on a little bit earlier, like I have been enjoying doing. That way I can get my talk out of the way. Let's see what we got going on. One sec. All right. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. All right. What is going on? Hey, Lori. Hey, Ayushi. What's up, Leo Empress? What's up, Ernie? What's up, Vanessa? What's up, Michaela? Yay. Yes, wanted to be early. Today we have Venus sextile Uranus. Love it, honestly. Love it so much. I mean, what a great day to take dreams and feelings that you have and make them a reality for change. Beautiful, beautiful day. I love Venus Uranus transits. I just think they are so immaculate. Especially because like the Greek mythology behind it, right? Like Venus came from Uranus's balls essentially. Right. What's up, lady? How are you? I feel like the light is a little bright in here. What's up, Tom? What's up, underdog? You got a kitten. Oh my God. I bet it's so cute. I'm so jealous. I remember when Valeria was so little. Gosh, she was so cute. Now she's just horny all the time and hates me. What's up, Krista? My Taurus man left me and I'm a Taurus female. He was a cheater. Damn. I am so sorry about that. I hope you're okay. What's up, Fire Dove? Thank you. Just got out of the gym, of course. Hello, Sean. Hello. Speaking of Taurus men. All right, you guys. So today we're going to be taking a look at what they want to say. Okay. So this can definitely be a person on your mind in regards to love. If you have somebody on your mind in regards to love, great. If not, then you can apply it to your boss, your friend, whatever it is. Okay. But usually it's very love focused. So we're going to see what this person would say if they had the courage, or would say if maybe they weren't blocked, whatever. Whatever your personal situation is. Okay. Tonight I am taking super chat questions. They're good to go now. Okay. The super chats are on for YouTube. So tonight, if you want to ask a super chat question, you can just ask directly through YouTube. You'll see the pinned comment. It gives you kind of the rules right there. Okay. So that way you don't have to go to my website, which is violettaalexis.com if you do need to go. Get her a partner or get her sterilized. Thank you. I understand. I understand what I need to do. Thank you so much, Vanessa. She's white with red and black patches. Oh my goodness. He's just a baby. So cute. You know, when Valeria, when I first got her, she was just this little tiny, skinny little white ball. She was so cute. She just like was barely growing the black in. I think that's what it was. Yeah, she was like just barely getting the little like black hairs around her. Oh, she was just such a she was very like cautious. She was like, "Where am I? What is going on?" She was just a baby. So cute. I was going to do a super chat question. Okay, well, that got erased quickly. Those kittens, though, Violetta, would be worth bank. Yeah, but I can't do that to her. I just couldn't do that to her. I really couldn't. I couldn't do it to her. I could not do it. Like, I cannot let a male cat. No, I'm sorry. No. Hate that. Hate the idea of a male cat or a female cat touching my cat in that way in any capacity. I don't know why. I'm just like, no, that's my baby. You know, she's like my child. Like, no, I will kill you. I will actually kill you. I don't care how much of an animal lover I am. You will die. I can't do it. No, sorry. Not gonna do it. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get started. It is 7 o'clock. Let me go ahead and put this up here so everybody knows. Maybe make that a little bit larger. Oh, okay. It's just not ever that deep. Okay. Make this a little bit smaller. Alrighty. Okay, there we go. All right, guys. Defiling the princess. You don't even talk about her like that. I don't even want to think about that. Thank you, Lori. I can't. She is pure, okay? She's my baby. She's not allowed to partake in that. Okay. Not like her mama. Just kidding. What's up, Carmen? How you doing? It's nice to see you in here. Speaking of Carmen, shout out to Carmen for the deck. I will be using both of the decks that she got me this evening. Poor baby. She trust me, okay? She'll be fine without. What's up, Libra? So let's go ahead and take a look. Let's start with Aries, or should we'll start with Pisces today. Let's start with Pisces today, and then we'll work our way down, okay? So Pisces, I want you to think about the person on your mind. All right. Think about the person on your mind. And we're going to take a look at them. Okay. So, let's see their overall energy towards you. The Hermit reversed. Could be a Virgo. The Five of Cups in reverse for what they want to tell you about themselves. The Three of Pentacles in reverse for, in the upright for what they want to tell you about you. Okay. Let's see that Hermit in reverse, shall we? Oh, wow. The Star. The Six of Swords in reverse. I really feel like a lot of you guys have made this person or forced this person to look at themselves, okay? In ways that are essentially uncomfortable, in ways that we don't always want to look in ourselves. We want to ignore the mirror, right? We want to shatter all of the mirrors in the house so that way we don't have to look at ourselves. And I feel like for a lot of you, you were the mirror. Now I'm getting that quote that I wrote in one of my poems. In one of my poems, I wrote, "When I die, I want to come back as the broken mirror on your wall so I can see you in pieces for once." Okay. No, I just heard that in my head. I don't know if that resonates. Maybe it does. But the Hermit in reverse is certainly an evolutionary journey. It's a journey about where we're now finding the things that inside of ourselves that we have been looking for in other people. And the star there, it's this sense of hope that they're finding within themselves because of the hope that you've brought them. So whether that was through your love, through a conversation, and it really depends on who you are, because love can either shut us down, right? We can be like, oh no, we don't, we can't do that, right? Because we accept the love that we think we deserve. The love can open us up because, oh God, I want that. I feel like I deserve that. I need that, you know? But whatever it has been for you, whatever you have done to open this person up, I feel like it's working. And I think that this is somebody who's being very accountable inside of their own minds. And I feel like they are ready to share that accountability with you. So in regards to who they are, in regards to where they came from, in regards to maybe something that they've done to you or whatever it is. there's an element of wanting to share that piece of themselves and those parts of themselves with you. So, especially if this person has been in limbo for a while, has been holding themselves back, has been, I don't know, maybe they haven't been talking to you, maybe they've been isolating. It seems like there's a bit of a turnaround here. And I really think that if they have had time apart from you, this is now a time where they seem to be ready to show you what they learned or something of that nature. So, what they would tell you when it comes to themselves and their feelings. Mm. The Five of Cups reversed, Page of Wands reversed, Four of Wands reversed. I can almost bet money that this is somebody who either grew up in a broken home, or this is somebody who had a parent project onto them a lot. And whether they talk about it or not, I feel like this is what impacts them now. And I don't know if it was an abusive situation. It can also be that this person, because of whatever that was growing up, right? Maybe they were, I don't know, abused by their dad and it really messed with their confidence. Because your parents are always your first heartbreak, right? And I'm getting something like that in regards to this person. Or maybe it was a brother. It was something in the home. It was something in regards to family. And if this person wanted to say something, if they were vulnerable enough, if they were really truthful, if they were really honest, I feel like this is what they would share with you because it's something that is now impacting the way that they relate to you, the way that they talk to you, the way that they think about you, the way that they think in general. Their willingness to accept love, to receive love, and also to give it. And so now, because of that, Five of Cups is in reverse. The regret that they've had, or the sadness, or the remorse, or the depression, or the regrets that they may have had growing up that has negatively impacted them and the people around them, they may be at this point where they're ready to let that go. Now, for others of you, this person may be wanting to apologize with that Five of Cups in reverse, Page of Wands in reverse, but it's almost like they don't know how, or they're having a hard time finding the courage to do so. I do think that they want to share something with you, however. It feels vulnerable. It feels wise. It feels more wise than how they've been. What they would say, what they would want to tell you in regards to you. This person feels like you appreciate them and you show that sense of appreciation. I think in turn they also appreciate you, but I also feel like this is somebody that would tell you that you misunderstand them at times. And that may not even be intentionally. That may not necessarily be intentionally, but they may feel like, tell me about that High Priestess reversed. Now I'm hearing that quote, you can only meet somebody as far as you've met yourself. You remind this person of someone. You remind this person of someone. That's why. That's why that home thing is coming up. There's something about you that triggers this person into the trauma or into the experience that they had that caused them to become some kind of way or handle situations in some way. And when you find that trigger, it's maddening, right? Because really psychologically we're all subconsciously seeking it out. Why? Because that is how we resolve things. We have to meet it in another. Otherwise, we'll ignore it and we'll suppress it for the rest of our lives because it's the shattered mirror. We don't want to look at it. I feel like that's what they would tell you. Hmm. Advice for this, for whomever. Two of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, Nine of Pentacles in reverse. I mean, this is really about making practical decisions and doing what's best for the both of you, as opposed to trying to prove. Like, and what I mean by this is I think that a lot of us, and I don't know if this is for you, the crosswatch or whatever, but a lot of us sometimes when we get our ego involved in a relationship, we find ourselves competing against the other person or working against the other person as opposed to working with the person towards a common goal. And that comes from what? That comes from our wounds. That comes from our triggers that we have subconsciously sought this person out in the first place to be able to resolve those issues. So, something to kind of think about, I think, when it comes to this connection. So, that is what I have for you, Pisces. Thank you guys so much. I hope that you will like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to book a super chat question during this live, then you can do so right here on YouTube. You can just click the pinned comment in the chat box for the rules. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to Aquarius, shall we? What's up, MC? I hope I said that right. Thank you so much. And Karmic Karen, it's nice to see you, darling. All right, let's go ahead and move on here. Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, how you doing? Hope you're doing awesome. Let's take a look at your person. Let's see the energy that they're in right now. Oof. King of Cups. Well, I'm not mad about it. The Strength in reverse for what they would tell you about themselves. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse for what they would tell you about you. I feel like you are sometimes this person's weakness, or you bring out their insecurities. Not like you're intentionally doing it, but it's there. But this is also somebody who feels like you always want to either be in control, or you keep repeating some kind of pattern. And I don't know what that pattern looks like. I don't know if it's a mental pattern, an emotional pattern, but it is a pattern, and they feel like they see it. This person is in love with you. I don't feel like this is a, I mean, it may be new, maybe, but it looks like established love. Okay. Mm. This person tends to shut down sometimes, especially when there's drama involved, especially when you have some kind of conflict with them. And some people do that. Some people do that. I do think that the conflict, however, makes them question their own thought process. It makes them question their own line of thinking. It tests their emotional maturity. And I think that's what's so hard, is because a lot of the times when people test us, or when people trigger that ego, or when they make us question how we've thought about things all our lives, we're like, well, wait a minute, like, you're not going to come and tell me, you know? And I think that this is somebody who gets very conflicted about that, because it's almost this fight between heart and mind. Maybe heart and ego. Five of Wands is Leo energy, you know? So, love you, Leo. Just saying. Sometimes this person doesn't know. Okay, listen, I'm just channeling them right now. They don't know if you're crazy or if they're crazy. Like, and what I'm saying that because they love you. This person cares about you very, very deeply. They may not express it all the time. They may not express it all the time, especially with that Five of Wands, King of Swords in reverse. But it makes it harder to walk away, or it makes it harder for them to humble themselves, because you make them question that part of themselves. And I think that it drives them crazy. But then they really ask themselves, well, am I crazy, or is Aquarius crazy? Let me tell you from experience, two things can be true at the same time. You know? They would never tell you this. I don't think that they would ever tell you this. If you tend to be a little jealous, okay? If you tend to be a little possessive, they like it. I think that they like it. I think that there's a little bit of a fantasy life kind of going on. The spunk that they complain about, the way that you may talk to them sometimes, or the way that you express yourself, that may to, well, outsiders, it may look daunting. It may look a little, what's wrong with her or him? What's wrong with Aquarius? But they like it. They would never point that out though, because it's like when you, in your heart of hearts, when you know that you like something that may be controversial to like, or it doesn't make sense as to why you like that. Why do I like that? I shouldn't like that, right? Why do I like it when my man chokes me? That's not normal. Right? But whatever it is, it could go deeper than that. I have no idea. It makes you really question yourself. It makes you lack confidence in who you thought you were. And I think that this person has a hard time, or they struggle with that a little bit. I will say this, be cautious of people that like it when you're jealous. Okay? Unless you like being jealous. Because for some people, that's a kink, and that's totally valid. I don't kink shame. But if you don't like being jealous and this person likes it when you're jealous, that may not be so compatible. You know what I'm saying? Have like a domestic violence issue, especially with that Queen of Wands reversed. Oof. Oh my God. Well, there you have it. This is somebody who feels like you're an absolute control freak. Okay. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. They feel like low key, maybe high key. They feel like you want to make the decisions or you want to control the relationship. Although I don't think that they really feel like you want that. I think that they just want, they feel like you want resistance. They feel like you want to act like this because you want a reaction from them. Whether it's true or not, don't know, don't care. Just telling you what I see. This person may be quite obsessed with you, may feel like you are also in turn obsessed with them. The Lovers and the Devil together is pretty interesting because you have a very open, almost celestial dynamic that is otherworldly, that is very uncommon, that is rare. You don't get it all the time. And so when you put the devil there, it's almost like the lovers in chains. How very BDSM of you. But they feel like you've been in a connection like this before, or you keep repeating cycles in this connection that makes it hard to really stick to. The advice all reversed. King of Wands, Six of Cups, the Hierophant reversed. Oh boy. So, let me just be honest, right? My way or the highway isn't always going to work. Compromise is important. If we want to get along, we have to compromise. Okay. And sometimes we have to compromise on an individual level where it's not that we're necessarily meeting in the middle, but somebody has to meet the person on the other side for whatever reason. But that's going to take humility. And I don't know who needs the humility, okay? Probably both of you. I have no idea. But that King of Wands in reverse is not made for humility. He needs it. But it's very hard to get there, especially when we are looking at relationships through the lens of a wounded inner child. Because that's where it really comes from, right? It comes from wanting to protect that inner child. That's why the ego is bred. And that's why the ego is built. And that's how the ego is formed. It's a protective mechanism. It's not true confidence. But I explained this in the last All Signs, didn't I? So I don't want to be repetitive. But it's really a sense of maturity. And do you want the false foundation? And so you can wear your bulletproof vest for the rest of your life, because to be fully loved is to be fully vulnerable. If you're not willing to strip yourself bare and be honest even with yourself, and certainly with another, you cannot truly be loved authentically. So whoever that's for, okay? But that is what I have for you, Aquarius. Thank you so much. I hope that you will like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to book a super chat question during this live, then you can do so right here on YouTube. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Capricorn. What's up, Capricorn? No. Okay. All right, let's do it, Cap. Let's see the person on your mind. 3 Cups in reverse for their energy towards you. Okay. What they would tell you about them. Ace of Wands reversed. What they would tell you about you. 10 of Cups. Well, that's a tough cookie to crumble. This person may be in a little bit of an isolative energy when it comes to you a bit. Even if you're in a relationship. They may feel like there's a misunderstanding or you don't understand them, or they may be trying to protect what's going on inside by not communicating with you. They may be afraid to reveal something. And with that Ace of Wands in reverse, it may be this energy of feeling like there was a false start in some way, or feeling like they want to tell you something, but they keep putting it off because of the lack of confidence, because of the lack of passion even. But there is love here. And it's pretty deep. It's maybe even an idolization in one way or another, but the idolization can't really become a reality because there's this pulling back, there's this isolation, there's this trying to protect one's emotions desperately. Justice reversed. 2 of Swords reversed. There may have been somebody in their vicinity who essentially tested them to do the wrong thing. And they lost, in my opinion. And it's something that they know that they can't avoid. I think that they messed up somewhere. I truly do. But they may want to avoid it. There may be this fear of being honest, or a fear of sharing something because of the pushback, because of the shame, because of they know what they did is wrong. And so now they're having a hard time coming to terms with that, even though they know that it's something that can't be avoided. That may be where the procrastination is happening. What's that? Justice reversed? The 8 of Swords. I will say that the conscience is certainly there. The conscience that is like a seed growing in their belly. And the more that they think about it, it's like water, and it keeps growing and it keeps growing until eventually it's going to come out of their mouth and you're going to see all about it. They may have done something wrong. I feel like you already know about it if they did. Okay. And, I mean, if you're like, I don't think that this person was messing with a third party or in some kind of gossip, rumors, drama situation, great. Then in that regard, I would say that this is somebody who may feel like things are not necessarily reciprocal. And whether that is on your side, their side, whatever the case is, it's something that can't be avoided. There's not really a solidification of the relationship, or there's a wrongdoing, or once again, it's an imbalance. They may be having a hard time making the right decision for you, for themselves, for the connection. So they may feel like they just have to keep putting it off because they're not really sure what to do. But I feel like they know what the right thing is. I think that they're just having a hard time making that decision. Although the 2 of Swords in reverse tells me that this person may just feel like, well, I need to do what's right for me on an individual level. 333 is here. I feel like there may definitely have been some kind of other external influence. What this person would tell you. This is like the weirdest vision, okay? And I'm sorry, I'm an INFP, so I'm a little, Shakespearean tragedy, okay? But I'm getting this very strange vision of somebody who has tried to like climb this wall, and upon doing so, on their way up, they started getting like bondaged by these growing vines. And the more that they climbed, the more that they realized that they couldn't anymore, and that they were now stuck in place on this wall almost as a display. And it feels like that is their actions. And it feels like whatever their actions were, now they feel as though they can't move, move forward. And it feels like they're just stuck there, and they're just stuck there to think, and they're just stuck there to go back and forth about it in their mind. And I think that there's a lot of frustration in regards to that. And it's this thing, it's almost like whatever this is, I don't know if it's a conscience thing. I don't know if it was like a third party. I don't know what it is, but it's almost like it has them stuck now, having a hard time to move forward. But it's like they can't tell you that for some reason, or they're having a hard time telling you about that. And they're heartbroken. And maybe it was your choices. Okay. I don't know. Okay. But I don't want to focus on cross watches too much. Reverse it if you need to, obviously. But it's like there's they're stuck in there. They're stuck in that space. They can't move on from that space. It's something that's so unavoidable. So what they would tell you about you, 10 of Cups, Magician reversed, Knight of Swords reversed. This is a rough one because I don't want to encourage toxic relationships if that's what this is. But I mean, I have to be honest with what they would say about you if they had the gall or whatever. This is somebody that idolizes the love and the relationship and what it is that you truly have to offer. And I think that they even fantasize about what they have to offer you in return as well. And there is this fantasy about home life and about family, or about buying the white picket fence and making homemade apple pies on a Sunday afternoon with you, whatever it is. But I think that they know, because of their actions, that that is why you doubt yourself. You doubt yourself. And the more you doubt yourself, the more insecurities are bred. And because the more insecurities are bred, the more that you just decide that you're just going to follow them around like a puppy dog, or you're going to just fly by the seat of your pants. Whatever goes, goes. Okay. But for a lot of them, they understand it was their actions that got you to this point. It may have also, you may have gotten to a point as well where you started fearing bringing up certain feelings because of the backlash that you may have received. If we keep giving in to the path that we have always traveled, then we will continue to end up at the same exact place. If we want change, we have to be the change, and there has to be a fighting spirit about it. You have to want it bad enough. And sometimes we only want it bad enough when we have really gotten our ass handed to us, when it feels like there is really no other choice. But I don't want either of you or whomever to get to that point. So that is what I have for you, Capricorn. Thank you so much. I hope that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And obviously, if you want to book a super chat question during this live, then you can do so right here on the YouTube app. All right, let's do Saggy. Sagittarius. Cha, cha, cha. All right, Sagittarius. Let's see your person. They're in the energy of the King of Pentacles in reverse. You guys know how much I love that card. The Chariot. Okay, this is for what they would tell you about themselves. What they would tell you about you. Eight of Pentacles reversed. They're not feeling super secure, but I think that they want to. But their security seems to be what they can get that is external from themselves as opposed to just who they are. And so the King of Pentacles in reverse kind of emulates that. It kind of shows that what we want is stability. What we want is status. What we want is to be looked at like we're something, but we keep looking outside of ourselves in order to get that. And I think that that's where this person's lack of confidence actually comes from. And they think that the same well that they're drawing from, that they believe that they're gaining the confidence from, is actually diminishing it chip by chip, piece by piece, until they just become the mirror of what other people say about them. You know, it's Knight of Wands with the Seven of Wands in reverse that's clarifying that King of Pentacles in reverse. There's passion here. There's action. Great. But there's not a follow through. There's not, okay, well, now I've taken action. Now let me build this. Let me take accountability. Let me take responsibility. Let me make this into something tangible. No, not if there's any resistance towards it. You know, I'll swim in the ocean until there's a little bit of a wave. Oh no, uh, please, you know. So it's this, and this isn't what it is. Okay, this is just an example. When somebody is berating you, or when somebody is saying kind of nasty things at you, or trying to pick at you and pick at you and pick at you, and then like the second that you say something, it's like, oh. It's like, what the fuck, you know? It's like when you see the two dogs barking on the side of the fence, like they're gonna do something, and then like you slowly open the fence and they're just kind of like, you know, one of the dogs just kind of like all of a sudden they don't even see the fence opening, you know? That's kind of what this reminds me of a little bit. And so there's no real fight. There's fun, and it's there, and they like acting or showing up as the Knight of Wands because it makes them feel cool, or they like how it makes them look to other people, but really they don't have a bone in the fight. They don't have a scrap. They don't, you know. And who knows why? I mean, that's just the energy. Let's see what they would tell you. And this is more about themselves. Well, see, this is the most hysterical part about it because they're actually working against themselves. This is somebody that's saying, if I had the courage, I would. If I had the confidence, I would. It's not that they totally lack confidence. It's not that they lack in getting something. It's not that they lack the confidence in getting something. It's that they lack the confidence in keeping something. It's like if they wanted to, they would. Well, some of them want to, but it's their own insecurities that cause them more suffering than trial and error ever would. Right? So it's this sense of I am invested, but only as far as my insecurity will let me. Because I think why this Eight of Pentacles in reverse is here for what they would tell you in regards to you is I think that they believe they don't meet a standard of yours. They may feel like they're not good enough. They may even tell themselves that you're not good enough to avoid really looking at themselves. Reverse this if you need to. Okay. I don't know. Maybe this is you, but you know what I think it is? I think that they truly believe they don't have anything to offer. They may feel like they don't have anything to offer you. And that's like a crappy feeling, right? When you're like, well, damn, what do I have? Check in your pockets. What do I have? Like you must come bearing gifts. When really the gift can simply be you. And what a gorgeous gift that would be. Well, damn, you're saying that I'm such a good person and I take such good care of myself and I have so much integrity and I'm so mentally and emotionally and spiritually connected that you know, I can just show up and that's good enough and then whatever comes after that is just a bonus. Well, damn. And that's the mindset I think that they need to have. Yeah, I take my birth control on live. I don't care. Okay. What they would tell you about you. The Eight of Pentacles reversed, the Page of Swords, and the Queen of Cups. Ugh. Well, what's a knight to a queen, huh? They feel like you assume the worst about them and they feel like you look down on them, not intentionally. It's really because they look down at themselves. And so they feel like that is how you see them. So they're looking at themselves through your perceived eyes, maybe not necessarily how you actually perceive them. They do believe that you love them. They love you too. But there's a lack of immaturity that's coming with this that is not allowing them to keep what is, not fully. It's almost as if they feel less than. They feel less than. And there's this little voice in their head with maybe, maybe they asked like a girl out or a boy out in kindergarten, and the little girl was like, I'd never go on the swings with you. And now that's just like the mantra in their head. Oh, and they're still thinking about the girl or the guy that wouldn't go on the swings with them in kindergarten. And like, what does that say about them? It just says that they weren't going to go on the swings with you, but they may make it bigger in their head than what it actually is. But they do love you. This person is in love with you, but they allow you to carry that emotion for the both of them, in my opinion. Advice for somebody. Page of Pentacles, Eight of Cups reverse, Four of Swords reverse. This reminds me of Um, this is like you go to the gym and then you want to go out on a date, but you don't shower and you just put deodorant on top of your already deodorant and your body stank. And then you put, maybe if you're a woman, or I mean even if you're a man, you put makeup on over your sweaty dirty gym face and you're like, do you like me? Right. And sometimes it's very hard to build on new ground when there's weeds everywhere. And so I really think it's about taking a look at what these unhealed issues are for someone. And even if it's like accepting a certain kind of person in your life, and hoping that even though this person is the exact same person I dated before that was terrible to me, but they just are in a different body, I need to understand why this keeps showing up. What is unresolved in me? What have I not learned? That can also be it as well. Okay. So that is what I have for you, Sagittarius. Thank you so much. I hope that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to book a super chat question during this live, then you can do so right here on YouTube. Alrighty. What's up, 10? Nice to see ya. Love me some straight to the point questions. Alrighty. Scorpio. I remember one time I was dating somebody and I was like, why are you following this girl? And he's like, well, she's just so full of hope and life. I was like, yeah, I could be too if you watered the grass over here. You know? All right, let's do this, Scorpio. All righty. Let's see. Let's see your person's energy. Ace of Cups reversed. Okay. What they would tell you about them, the Emperor. Okay. What they would tell you about you is the Death card. Well, there you are. In your prime, showing up as your major arcana in their feelings and their thoughts and their perspective. And I think that that's kind of beautiful. This person, I believe that they have a lot of love for themselves. You know, I think that if you've had an ending with this person, I think that they're trying to fulfill themselves, but you still make them happy. They still see the rainbow through the rain. They still see the pot of luck at the end of the rainbow. They still see the light at the end of the tunnel in some way. There's kind of an energy of there's nowhere to go but up. Ace of Cups in reverse, the Sun, and the Ten of Swords. And that Sun is going to trump both of those cards. There's something about being able to smile through the shit, right? There's something to be said about being able to crack a joke in a very uncomfortable situation. There's something to say about being able to laugh at yourself. And I think that that is where this person is at in regards to whatever it is that you two have had happened. It really is there's nowhere to go but up. And I think that this is somebody who is very much shining a light on their own issues, somebody who's shining a light on yours as well, but there's optimism through that. There's hope here. There's happiness still, even in the ruin, even in the spoils of war. There's still happiness. There's still a triumph somewhere in a war. Yes, there's losses. Yes, there's losses, but there's still a flag pitched up on a hill somewhere, blowing in the fucking wind. Might have a little bit of blood on it, but it's okay. It's fine, right? We almost killed each other, but not quite. And that's what that looks like to me. Tell me about that Ten of Swords. Talk about a kingdom. The Ten of Pentacles. If there was a divorce here, if there was like a divorce here, a breakup, something like that, they are still optimistic through it all. Even if it's for self or in regards to the two of you. I heard maybe there's another way. There's this therapist guy that I watch on YouTube sometimes. His name is John Maloney. And when he talks about marriage and, you know, I don't know, boyfriend, girlfriend relationships, whatever, and he tries to help them through it or help this person through it, he a lot of the times will say, the marriage that you thought you had is over. It's over. It's going to be something completely different now because it has to be. It has to be. It can't be the same anymore. You guys tried that. You guys tried it over and over and over again. It can't be that anymore because it was never working. And this is what that feels like to me. This person seems to be shining a light on what they must give themselves in order to be able to have something to offer another. Wow. What they would tell you, that they've been selfish. Emperor, 5 of Pentacles reverse, 9 of Cups in reverse, that they've been selfish, that their coping mechanisms have been crap. Nine of Cups in reverse can sometimes be like, oh, I feel really bad about myself. I didn't get what I want. I'm going to go get shit-faced and sleep with the first person that I see. Sometimes it can be that. Sometimes it can be, I didn't get what I want, so I'm going to go sulk over here. I didn't get what I want, so, I'm going to go watch porn, whatever it is, okay? This person is coming out of this now. There's a bigger responsibility that they're putting on their own shoulders. And it could have been because of a loss between the two of you. And now there's something to say about them detaching from their selfishness. Oh, well, it's not really my fault. Or, oh, I'm really sorry I got so drunk at the bar and you had to bail me out of jail. Like, whatever it is. They're like, no more excuses. That's what they would want to tell you. That they want to take control. They want to take responsibility. They want to be that divine masculine, okay, which is the emperor, or that divine feminine, whatever. But they want to do that. They want to overcome whatever their shortcomings essentially are. They know you're disappointed in them. They know that there's an uncertainty. And they may feel like something is truly going to change. They certainly feel like you're not happy, but a lot of the times they feel like it's always about them. It's always about them. They would probably tell you about yourself in ways where they feel like you need to change as well. Okay. They may feel like you need to change. And although they look at you, and there's double Scorpio energy here, but the other one is reversed. I do think that they look at you as somebody who's very powerful, who's kind of like the phoenix in some way, but sometimes they feel as though you don't take accountability for that either. They feel like the power that you truly hold, you may not access it all the time because you don't want the responsibility of what comes after that. For others of you, they may be asking, have you had your fill of me? Not to be dramatic. Have you had your fill of me? They may feel like you don't see them. They may feel like you only see the flaws. You only see the ugly. Okay. And I'm sure that's not true, but that's what they feel. They would ask you, do you really judge me? Do you judge me that much? You're like, yes. Just kidding. Wow. Advice. The World, the Knight of Cups, the Hangman reverse. I'm getting this energy of sometimes you guys in this connection, you may want to skip past the hard conversations, or maybe you want to just sweep things under the rug. Maybe you just don't want to look at that. You want the romance, you want the love, you want the sex, you want the, and that's all, those are all beautiful things to have. But there, the sun always goes down at some point. The sun goes down. And that's when the werewolves come out and we're howling at the moon, uh, daring the other one to hate us. And I think with that hangman in reverse, it's really about perspective on what we're building on. What are the sacrifices that need to be made? Maybe we need to have the hard conversations. Maybe we need to look in the mirror. Maybe we need to go to therapy. Maybe we need to be honest with ourselves. Maybe we need to be honest with each other, but we have to create the space in order for that to happen. And this is really about integrity and responsibility. The world is Saturn. And the Nine of Cups, that's all well and good. The poetry and the love and the mwah, 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 the Pepe Le Pew shit, whatever. Great. We'll love that. But once again, the sun will go down and we will have to face that werewolf. you know? So I don't know if that's for you or for them. So that is what I have for you, Scorpio. Thank you so much. I hope that you will like, share, comment, and subscribe. And obviously, if you want to book a super chat question during this live, then you can do so right here on YouTube. Alrighty. Thank you so much, Ashley B. I really appreciate that. And thank you so much, Jerry. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Eyes on Lethal tonight. Oh, thank you. Actually, I really need to use the bathroom really quick. Okay, I'm sorry. I've been kind of holding it for a minute, so I'll be right back. And plus, I need to get water, but I will be right back. I promise. One sec. All right, cool. Thank you guys so much for waiting. I appreciate it. Thank you, Barbie. All right, let's do it. Libra. Okay. All right, Libra, let's see your person. They're in the energy of the Six of Wands in reverse. The Ace of Swords for what they would tell you about how they feel or what they're thinking, but about themselves. What they would tell you about you is the Ten of Wands in reverse. Okay. This looks like a woman. The Queen of Swords reversed here. Okay, so reverse it if you need to. But the Queen of Swords is also Libra, so. But I do feel like this is a feminine energy. Okay. This person feels unseen, unheard. And I think that this causes them to act out in certain ways. I think it causes them to think illogically. I think it causes them to act out illogically at times. And in the moment, they may feel like it's logical because it's their feelings telling them that. And when we feel things, we tend to react. When we tend to think logically, we tend to respond. And so there's something that's triggering this person. And I feel like it's because of that Six of Wands in reverse. I feel like being overlooked, underpaid, right, so to speak. Overlooked, underpaid, unnoticed, not validated, something like that. And so they may be kind of in this energy where they may feel as though they need to go out of their way to seek attention in maybe not the healthiest of ways. They may say and do things that's not really who they are. And it really all comes down to how they're feeling. Like, have you ever wanted recognition or validation for your feelings so badly that you will sometimes act out of your own character in order to get it, right? It's like that inner child comes out. You know, mommy, tell me I'm a good girl, you know? You know what I mean? Somebody, please. And I'm kind of getting that with this person. And so they may tend to fall into that pattern of seeking out validation in the way that their inner teenager would, or something like that. I feel like this person has been mentally abused. I'm not saying by you, but I feel like this is somebody who's been mentally abused. Uh quite badly. What would they tell you? I heard, whoa, okay, this is getting heavy. I heard you turned me into this, but I don't think that they mean that. I think that's what their inner teenager says. Because we have the Ace of Swords, the Empress, and the Six of Pentacles reversed. But this person is showing up as a feminine. So I feel like this Empress energy is them. It's this energy of them really knowing who they are and what they're worth. But it's like that, how much am I willing to betray myself to keep a person? How much am I willing to invalidate my own emotions by having them, by seeking out validation from somebody who won't even speak their own? And I feel like what they would tell you is they know who they are at the pit of it all. But your validation may mean too much to them. And so it finds them questioning themselves. They don't want to give. They don't want to feel like they have to overgive. They don't want to feel like they have to teach you something, like that they have to teach you empathy, or they have to teach you love or value or generosity. They feel like you should already come like that because they feel like they come like that. And so now they would probably tell you, with me trying to teach you that, and in the beginning me feeling like I knew who I was, now I'm questioning who I was all along. Cuz It's very interesting when somebody understands their value but does not practice it. There's something, there's a little, right? And maybe that the package looks valuable, and even the way that they present themselves looks, the way that they talk looks quite powerful, right? Or it looks, there's value to it. You can see it, you know it. But there's a little bit of a glitch or a kink in the system. And sometimes it can be something that is like a little nudge that triggers it, that puts it to some kind of strange, I don't want to say default setting, because I don't think that that's it, but some kind of learned behavior. What they would tell you about you. You don't have to be so uptight all the time, is what they would say. They would tell you that you make things harder than they need to be because of your fear and because you're always afraid to take a chance. You think that where you are is where you need to stay, but it's actually keeping you from what you can really be and who you, or what you can really achieve. They feel like you're too slow moving. It's almost like they want you to lighten up. Lighten up. Stop being so damn serious all the time. Stop making things harder on yourself than you need to. Because I really feel like it's just stemming from a place of fear more than anything. Really. They would tell you that they view you as a knight and they view themselves as the empress. And how could a knight make an empress question herself? It really feels like it's more about them than you. Advice: Page of Cups, Queen of Pentacles in reverse, and the Eight of Wands. All right, so this is for some of you. There's somebody that may be quite more immature than another person in the connection. Okay, Page of Cups, Queen of Pentacles reversed, Eight of Wands. It reminds me of, like, imagine, let's say that you are 35 and a 10-year-old comes up to you, or an 8-year-old comes up to you and is like, "You're nothing but a diaper head loser face." And like that really impacted you. And you're like, man, you're sitting in the car and you're like, wow, maybe I really am a diaper head loser face. You know, then the rest of the day, you got a crick in your back. You're slouched over like Quasi fucking Moto from the Disney movie. And now you're questioning yourself. You're looking in the mirror. You don't even see the person that you saw before. You don't even see the person that you saw an hour ago. Now you actually do see Quasimodo. You see Dwight Schrute in the mirror. Over that? Okay. It's funny how we can give something that really is just so minute in the grand scheme of things, so much power over how we see ourselves. I don't know who that's for. Okay. And some of us just need to grow up, is what it comes down to. If we feel, if somebody here is feeling like their words are going in one ear and out the other, it's time to stop talking, you know? It's time to stop talking over here and give here. It's time to focus on this now, because that's exhausting. It's like, you know, you're trying to I'm not calling anybody dead, okay? But like, if this is what's going on, this person, somebody may listen to the next person, but not you. That's just, sometimes that's just the way it goes. It is what it is. Doesn't really say anything about you. Some people just are influenced in different ways by different people, different personalities, and that's okay. But if you're like trying to teach this dead dog to roll over, it may be dead for you. Maybe it'll wake up when the next person comes around. I don't know. But stop trying to teach a dead dog tricks. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I have for you, Libra. Thank you so much. I hope that you will like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to book a super chat question during this live, then you can do so right here on YouTube. All right, Virgo. All right. What's up, Cassie? What's up, Leo Empress? Thanks, baby. All right, let's do it. Dead is dead. I'm so dead. I sometimes feel like a diaper head loser phase. I looked like one this morning. I looked terrible. What's up, other Carmen? You're welcome, Barbie, anytime. Every adult I know is miserable or bitter. I think I'm one of them. A little bit. All right, let's see. All right, Virgo. The moon is your person's energy towards you. What they would tell you about themselves is the Tower reversed. Okay. The Nine of Swords in reversed for what they would want to tell you about you. I'm getting doubt for some reason with that moon. Feels like a doubting of self, but I feel like they're trying to trust self. I feel like they're trying to trust self. They're listening to their gut instincts. There's a very strong emotions here, but it feels, it's like they're trying to walk through a veil. They feel like they can't really see what's right in front of them. So they're trying to let themselves guide themselves through this connection with you. Strong emotions for you. I mean, the moon is there, but it's like the emotions that, or it's like the you know, like I was talking about the last live stream, the black ocean with the monster underneath kind of thing. What's in here, you know? They're having a hard time letting go of something. Queen of Cups. This is also a feminine. This is a feminine. I knew it. I knew this was a damn feminine. It's very interesting because there's such an innocence here that this person has for you, Virgo. Lots of love. I feel like it's mutual as well. Queen of Cups to me as a reader is mutual love. And there's an inner child here that is very much open to you, open to offering you love, giving you love. There's an innocence about this person. And I think that this reminds me of I wrote a line in one of my poems where I said, a gentle heart cost me what a sword never would. A gentle heart cost me what a sword never would, which means a sword would have just cut it out. That would have been it. I wouldn't have had to pay shit. You know what I mean? But a gentle heart, you are more receptive to the good and the bad because you have a gentle heart, because you have an open heart. And so sometimes I can talk about a lack of boundaries. Sometimes you need that sword. And I feel like this person is trying to come to terms of that. I think that this person has a very big heart. I think that this person loves very, very deeply, almost at an eerie, dark, deep level that is even scary to them. And I think that this scares them, despite the love and even despite the mutual love that they may feel like they have between the two of you. It's still that dark, the unknown, the okay, I have to trust myself in this situation, even though I feel like I can't see what's right in front of me. I can only feel what's inside of me, which can be a little scary, right? Ooh, the moon again. The moon again in a different deck. What are the odds? And both in the upright, nonetheless. This is a very, very, very intuitive, emotional person. Very intuitive. Maybe psychic, I don't know. Page of Pentacles reversed. They're having a hard time letting go of the rubble between the two of you. They're having a hard time letting go of the mistakes, although they are trying to trust. That's what they would tell you, that they're having a hard time letting go of the rubble that you guys are trying to build on. They're having a hard time letting you go. They're having a hard time with change. The only thing that they can do is really trust themselves and hope that they don't get thrown overboard. There's something that this person wants to express to you that they keep putting off as well. There's a fear. There's so many fears. There's a fear of letting go. There's a fear of a lack of change. There's a fear of missed opportunities. There's a fear of false starts. There's a fear of manipulation. There's a fear of being manipulated. And the only thing that is holding it together, really, it was what it feels like is the glue, is the love. Let's clarify this moon. The 10 of Cups. Come on. Damn, Virgo. Mm. This is what I think that they want with you. There's a fear of creating a fantasy that they could never live. There's a fear of getting to that point with you, or getting to that point with you again, whatever it is. And then just to get to the very, very top of the roller coaster ride, not to go forward and go down, wee, no, to go backwards and be like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. You know what I mean? All right, well, it's over for me, right? There's a lot of water here. There's so much water here. And I also think that this person fears either truly getting to know you or truly putting like in like a tangible effort, a practical effort. I mean, it's like investing in the connection or whatever, because they feel like it's manipulation, or they fear that they can't trust it. What they would tell you about you, 9 of Swords reverse, 7 of Swords reverse, the Chariot. They feel like you want to go for it, even though they may feel like what you're going for, even if it's for them, there's selfish reasoning behind it. And they may also feel like you have a guilty conscience about something, but not guilty enough to be honest. They may be thinking in their head, I know that there's something there that you're not telling me. And they may feel like, out of sight, out of mind, don't want to think about it. What's that? 7 of Swords reversed? 9 of Swords reversed again. Out of sight, out of mind. I'm not worried about it. Whatever. We're just going to sweep it under the rug. We're going to move on. We're going to go for it. Damn. I love this Temperance card. Look at these cards. Carmen got these. Look how gorgeous these are. Wish it would focus. So freaking cool. Look at that. So cool. Wow. So advice is Temperance, Wheel of Fortune, Eight of Swords. This is truly a shit or get off the pot, in my opinion. This is about, to me, this is about forgiveness. This is about letting go of control. This is about trying not to have control. If we tell ourselves we're stuck, if we tell ourselves that we can't make a decision, if we feel like we are, then that's just what we're going to be. That's the reality that we're creating in our head. But there's another way to see something, or there's another way to go about something. There is a way out, and it's through letting go of control. It's through balance. It's through peace, and it's through patience. So that is what I have for you, Virgo. Thank you so much. I hope that you will like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to book a super chat question, you can do so at right here on YouTube. Not really sure where I was going with that. Okay. What's up, Faye? Thanks, baby. It's nice to see you. What's up, Kelly? What deck is that, V? I'm gonna post it on my community page for you guys. What's up, Sarah? Aw, you're so welcome anytime. Your ability to break down and explain such complex emotions is remarkable. I often reflect on things you've said and written. You don't hear enough how gifted you are. Can I screenshot that? I love you so much. You are like one of my favorite people in the freaking chat. I know, ladies. It's okay. You're my favorite too. Don't get jealous. I'm just kidding. Would you believe me if I told you I didn't have any Leo placements? Just messing with y'all. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, don't worry, guys. I'll post all of the decks that I'm using on my post. I'll post all of the decks that I'm using on my post. Okay. Let's do Leo. Hey, Leo. Speaking of, I want to say something. I feel like Leos get a lot of flack. Okay. My daughter's a Leo rising, and I want to share a little story about my Leo rising daughter today. Um, so I got a call from the principal's office today. Okay. My daughter is a Leo rising, and she is 11 and a half. And I get a call from the principal, and she's like, "Hey, is this Khaleesi's mother?" And I'm like, just thinking in my head, uh-oh. I'm like, "Yes, is Khaleesi okay?" And she goes, she's fine. But I will say that she got reported for bullying today. Thinking, wow, I definitely have never encouraged that kind of behavior. I was bullied. I would never encourage that kind of behavior. I'm like, I don't think your dad would either. And I'm just like, okay, I'm trying to like think in my head immediately. I'm thinking, where did I go wrong, right? And I'm like, no, 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 I don't think that she would do that, right? So I'm like, bullying. And she goes, yes. So because it's our job, obviously, we did some further investigation, and we talked to the girls that were claiming that your daughter bullied them. I said, okay, well, what happened? And um, the girl said, well, Khaleesi said that we were too much drama, and she was not interested in associating with people who brought drama to her life. I don't see the problem. So the principal said, I just want to let you know, okay, because you're probably going to hear it from her, but I want to let you know that she did nothing wrong. We spoke to Khaleesi, and Khaleesi said, I don't have anything against them personally. I just don't want to be involved in any kind of drama. And then I did some further inspection. I found out that this same girl who was bullying her had a crush on Khaleesi and admitted it to her. But Khaleesi was like, oh, no, thanks. Slowly but surely, she started really beating Khaleesi down. And I feel like it was because partially of rejection. And I feel like because Khaleesi did not reciprocate these feelings, I believe that this girl got very frustrated. And a lot of people talk about how dramatic Leo placements are. But truly, the thing about Leo people is that they will absolutely defend others that really need it. They have the biggest hearts, and a lot of them get very hated on, is the most eloquent way I guess I could put that, by people. And I think that a lot of people want that light that Leos have, even if that means that they must possess it or they may have it for themselves, And my Leo rising daughter is don't get me wrong, she's very, very witty, she's hysterical, but like I remember there was this one time where we were at school. She's also a Sagittarius sun and she's a moon in Taurus like me. Our moons are conjunct exact. And there was a special needs child there when I was visiting her at school. I think she was like 9. And he was I think he wasn't super high functioning, so he was very loud. I had a kid like this in school that I grew up with, but he was very loud and he was like throwing his arms all around, but he was like right behind her while she was eating. And as a mother, instinctually, you just, you know what I mean? You like put your arm. It's like when you almost hit a car in front of you and immediately you put your arm in front of your kid. And so I did that and she goes, "Mom, don't embarrass him. Don't embarrass him. Please, I'm fine. He's not going to do anything to me. He's not going to hurt me. He's just sad." And I was like, this is so sweet. Like, I love you. Like, I am so glad that you are this person. They just both have such big hearts. But so a little story to my Leo placements. It was a very it was a call I did not expect, but I was so happy to hear the results. Very, very happy. So yeah. Oh, no way, Kelly. Are you really? That's awesome. I am freaking surrounded by fire signs. My daughter, she's a Leo rising Sag sun. My mom is a Sag rising, Sag Mercury, Sag sun. My stepdad, is a Leo sun, Leo moon, and I am a Taurus rising, Taurus moon, Virgo sun. And growing up around these fire placements, I feel like was really meant to activate that in myself. Dear God, help me. Medalis, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Said, why does Cancer block me? Okay. Probably in a mood. Just kidding. All right. So just a little story that I wanted to share to my Leo people. All the Leo and Sag, my goodness. My goodness. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot for my little introverted self. Let me tell you what. I definitely was taught and raised how to be an extrovert. Holy crap. Yeah, Kelly. She very much will fight for other people as well. She very much will stand up for other people. And Moon and Taurus people are also very generous, as are Leo placements, but they're very generous. Okay, one last a quick one. When she was 8 years old, my parents gave her $100 to go spend at the toy store. And of course, I had my oldest daughter there as well. And she's like a year and some change older than my youngest. And so we gave her $100 and she goes, "Well, can I get something for can I get something for Nirvana, my sister?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." And so I thought she was just gonna get her a little thing, but she made a little section. One little section was for her sister, the other section was for her. And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Is this your stuff?" And this is no, it was the other way around. She was trying to spend $80 out of that $100 on her sister and just $20 on her. I was like, That is so sweet. Oh, thank you, Enigma. She was an absolute darling. Oh yeah, Sages can be ruthless. She has a very sharp tongue, but she has such a big heart. She has a funny, witty tongue. She doesn't mean harm. I had a Cancer block me once he went back to an ex. Well, what are you gonna do, you know? All right, let's see here. All righty. All right, guys. Okay. All righty. All right, let's do it. Leo. Six of Wands in reverse for your person's energy towards you. Two of Wands in reverse for what they would tell you about themselves. Nine of Cups for what they would tell you about you. They want you to see them. They don't really know how to go about something, especially because you seem to be everything that they want in a person. But they feel like you don't see them. Ten of Wands reversed. Page of Wands reversed. Thank you, Crystal. Something is killing their confidence a little bit. For some of you, it really is that this person may be quite entitled at times. They may want all of this praise and recognition for like not really doing a whole lot or not doing too much. And because they have those expectations, it actually makes it harder on them. And then when they don't get the hoped for result, they tend to sulk, or they tend to, or that's what they're doing now. And there's this insecurity popping up, this even sense of manipulation because they feel like they're not getting their needs met by you. What's up, Kelly? Thank you. So it is quite a it is quite a difficult energy. You know, I mean, there's not much else to say about that. It feels, it's almost like they're hurting themselves with these expectations when they're not meeting another's expectations, or when they're not meeting your expectations potentially. When I really think that if they just, instead of feeling maybe entitled, um, I feel like if they just were to be vulnerable and be open and just be like, you know what, I'm not super confident, but I feel like me pushing through that and me owning that and me understanding that and being courageous enough to just reach out, or being courageous enough to, whatever the case, maybe express my feelings, that would actually create more confidence. Oh, Jesus. Two of Wands reverse, the Celestial Weaver reversed, and the Judgment reverse. My goodness. If they could tell you anything, they would tell you that they judge themselves harshly. And if they judge you harshly, it is because they judge themselves harshly. They would tell you that they have a hard time creating the reality that they want, because they don't take accountability for the reality that they want. In order to obtain the reality that you want, you have to become the person that you need to be in order to obtain that reality. And I think that this person finds themselves stuck in some kind of comfort zone. They keep questioning themselves. They keep questioning you. They keep questioning the lack of validation around them. They keep questioning other people and what that says about them. Instead, really needing to be like, you know what? I'm going to plan this. I'm going to get it together. I'm going to create the reality that I want. And by doing that, I understand that I need a wake up call. I need to be honest with myself. I need to come out of this self-induced coma that they seem to be in. And what sucks, uh, what sucks, Nine of Cups, King of Pentacles reversed, Four of Wands. What sucks is that you are everything that they want in one way or another with that Nine of Cups. And they want the relationship, they want the house, or they want the cuddles, they want the festivities, they want to go out with you, they want, all of these things that they feel like they could have with you, especially in regards to stability, but they feel like they can't provide that sense of stability because they are looking to you to provide it, and that's what they would tell you. But they would never tell you that. Not really. So you have all of these boxes that you check off. All of these boxes that you check off for them. But the thing is that their boxes may be a little bit empty, and they're just hoping that you will check it off for them so that way they don't have to do that. Does that make sense? It's almost a reliance. They would tell you that they care far more about what you think than they are willing to admit. The advice, Emperor, the Lovers reversed, the Sun in reversed. Okay. If okay. A lot of people, now I don't know if this is for you or for them, okay, you know who you are, but a lot of people want all of the power without the responsibility. And there was a quote that I saw in a movie, and this man was basically saying, well, I don't want the consequence. I don't want she goes, you know who else is able to have all of the benefit without any of the responsibility? And he goes, who? And she goes, a baby. So if someone is going to act like a baby, they should expect to get treated like a baby. You can't have all of this power and control without the responsibility, without the integrity, without the honor and the nobility, like you're some kind of passed down child king, or queen, whatever. Because that Emperor with that Lovers in reverse and the Sun in reverse is like, get your shit together, detach from your ego, start to make higher self decisions as opposed to ones that are solely based on your ego. It's not taking you anywhere. So that is for someone. Okay. That is certainly for someone. And there's also somebody here that is constantly blaming the other person. This is like the best way I can explain this. Say that person A keeps cheating on person B. And then person B is now constantly questioning person A. And person A is like, well, you should learn to trust more. Get your shit together is kind of what this advice is saying, in my opinion. Okay, so that is what I have for you, Leo. Thank you so much. I hope that you will like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to book a super chat question, you can do so at here on YouTube. I keep almost wanting to say hipsy.com/Violetta Alexis. I forget that Tuesday is YouTube. All right, let's look at Cancer. Are you joking? Okay. Sorry. Okay. Can you guys still see me? That was weird. It just like totally X'd out on me. Alrighty. Okay, Cancer. Your person's energy towards you is the Page of Swords. The Three of Swords in reverse for what they would tell you about them. They're not over it. The Tower in reverse for what they would tell you about you. I don't want to speak too soon here. Wow. The Page of Swords, the Nine of Wands, the Phoenix. This person is fighting for change within the dynamic for themselves, and the change is happening. It's something that they feel they have fought for a very long time. And now they have been demolished, reconstructed, rebuilt, and grown over time. And now they're at this place and they are standing on top with that Nine of Wands. And there's still this curiosity that they have for life, even though they've been through a lot of battles, either individually or with you. And there's this curiosity about you in regards to how they can fight for this, fight with you maybe towards a common goal, fight for change. And beauty is on their side with that Phoenix energy there. This is like the PowerPoint of evolution for this person. And this is somebody who has been battling this for a long time, battling with you, something of that nature. What's that Page of Swords? The King of Swords. This person is growing. There's evolution happening. There is evolution happening here. This is somebody who's also opening their mind about what they would fight for, what their beliefs are. What would I really go to bat for? In order to know that answer, it's about what's important to you. What would you die for, right? Even if it's your own beliefs. This person is like the tree of life here. There's such a wisdom to this person. Such a humble wisdom to this person that keeps growing, that keeps evolving, that keeps changing. And the beautiful thing about this person is that even though they keep evolving and changing, they're always looking for more ways to evolve. Like they're in a constant state of flux in a positive way. If it's in regards to this relationship as well, they still are fighting for this. See, I don't know who the masculine and the feminine is here, because this is showing me the Three of Swords reversed, Queen of Pentacles reversed, and the King of Cups. Is this the feminine? Yes, High Priestess. Whew. So this is a feminine. They have very strong boundaries here. They know what their truth is. They may not know necessarily what yours is, but I feel like they should trust themselves with that High Priestess there. This is somebody that would tell you that they're not over it with that Three of Swords in reverse, Queen of Pentacles in reverse. They would probably tell you that the heartbreak they've had in regards to this connection or this dynamic has really affected them greatly with that Queen of Pentacles in reverse. It may have caused them to stop taking care of themselves as much as they should have. It could have caused them to not focus as much on their business or their money like they should have. They could have been showing up in a very non-nurturing place. And there's this energy of them feeling like, well, you're just fine. You know, you're just fine. But I'm still wounded, but they're not defeated. Their energy is really strong. And I think that they may know that you love them to an extent, but there's so much wounding here that still affects how they show up in the relationship that it's very hard for them to relax. What's that Three of Swords reversed? The Hangman. They feel like they have a lot of perspective on you based around either the pain that you caused them or the pain that they caused you, or the pain that you both caused one another. And they feel like they've also made a lot of sacrifices, and that's probably what they tell you as well. And they may have told you that the sacrifices weren't always necessarily worth it, but they may have been necessary for a learning process, for the relationship. I'm not really sure. But they're not sure what is real. The Hangman is Neptune. They're not sure what is real. They feel like it's a fog. They may also feel like they're proud of they could be proud, or they may want to tell you that they are proud of some kind of level of emotional maturity with that King of Cups, but there's still a lot of insecurities that they have. The Tower reversed, the Five of Pentacles reversed, and the Three of Wands reversed. This is somebody who feels like you want all of the benefit without the change and the true accountability, or the true letting go of something that has really diminished you, diminished their self-worth, diminished the relationship or the trust maybe. But they still feel like you want access, or you want to be out of the cold, and they're kind of looking at you like you have all of these expectations, but you don't really always meet mine, something like that. They still feel like they would tell you that you need to change, and while they understand that you want the benefit, as if you've changed, you still need to do the change, or you're going to find yourself in the same frustrating position. That's what they would probably tell you. So for the advice, we have the Knight of Cups reversed, the Five of Wands, and then we have the Eight of Pentacles. So if this is the advice, it's saying that a lack of emotional vulnerability is going to be part of the reason why this could die if you allow it, as will the ego, as will the useless, ridiculous conflict, and a focus on the problem as opposed to the solution. Or we're not focused on the problem at all, and we're pretending that we don't have one. And when we're pretending that we don't have one, it's because we don't want to take accountability for ourselves. We don't want to look at ourselves in the mirror. We want to brush things under the rug, set the fucking dinner table, and act like shit isn't happening. And so with that Eight of Pentacles, it's about up your standard. Up your standard for the kind of behavior that you're willing to accept, and the kind of behavior that you are giving to another person. It's about raising the standard, but first we must set the standard, not just for another, but for ourselves. And setting a standard for self will set the standard for the people that we allow in our lives. So that is what I have for you, Cancer. Thank you so much. I hope that you will like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to book a super chat question, you can do so right here on YouTube. All righty. Oh no, Georgiana. This is me. I'm Cancer. Oh, I love you. I'm sorry. Oh, wow, Kelly. That's pretty cool. You got a lot of boys up in there. Got a lot of boys. Alrighty. Let me X out of this. Sorry, hold on. I'm trying to X out of some crap here. Okay, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Gemini. Gemini, let's see what you got going on here. Enjoy Jupiter in your sign while it lasts until June 9th. Almost there. Then you'll start getting some money with that Jupiter in your second house if you're a Gemini rising anyway. Your person, they're in the energy of the Seven of Pentacles reversed. What they would tell you is the Magician reversed. The Ten of Swords reversed for what they would tell you about you. Well, I mean, it's certainly interesting. It's interesting because I feel like this person is no longer wasting their time in a certain direction. And so what I mean by that, if this is somebody like, let's say that they had an option, okay? I feel like they're not wasting their time on that option anymore. They're not investing in that option anymore. They're not investing in that choice. They're not really paying attention to that choice anymore. And there's an opportunity that they're attempting to offer you. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be difficult. They know that. They know that it's going to be difficult. They know it's going to be a lot of work. They understand that there's going to be a lot of tending to that's going to be needed when it comes to progressing this connection or this dynamic in some way. And that's kind of where they lack the confidence. I can offer it. Can I keep it? I can put the first brick down. Can I build it? That's where they're at. And I do feel like there's something about you where this person has a bit of a weakness. It's almost like this, they may sometimes have a hard time resisting you in some way. But there's no really debating anymore. It's like, I think that they know what they want, but I think they also second guess what they want. A lot of times when we don't know what we want, it's because we don't know who we are, you know? And that's okay. I don't think we ever all totally figure it out, right? And it really is about the journey, isn't it? Testing a bunch of different things until we, oh yeah, this is it. This is the, this is it. What they would tell you is that they're probably sorry that they ruined everything. Okay, for some of you, reverse it if you need to. Magician reversed, Five of Cups reversed, Ten of Pentacles reversed. They definitely may have manipulated a situation, and if they maybe had the courage or the integrity maybe to tell you, I think that they would. It can be that this person also forgives you, okay, if you guys did anything. But they feel like they're the reason why it got ruined, or they're the reason why things got messed up, or they're the reason why you guys couldn't make it to the altar. They're the reason why, so there's a lot of self-doubt that this person is having. And so now that becomes the blockage. And it's because of probably the actions that they've already committed, so to speak. And so now the doubt sets in because they made doubtful decisions towards the thing that they probably wanted. And it seems like they want it, but they may also say, I don't know where this goes. I don't know how far this goes. Because if we see that the Ace of Pentacles is in their energy, but we see the Ten of Pentacles in reverse for what they would tell you, this may be telling you, I doubt that I can carry this to the finish line. And that's okay. They shouldn't have to do it alone, right? But is that doubt going to block them from what they truly desire? Because they feel like they don't have it all together. And I feel like the thing that they need to understand is nobody ever really does, no matter how beautiful it looks on Instagram or how great it looks on paper. So they need to be able to, I think that they're trying to tell you that they understand what the lesson is, but they would probably tell you they don't know how to apply it. Ten of Swords reversed, the Devil, the Seven of Cups in reverse for what they would tell you about you. Whew, why am I getting anxiety when I see that? What's that, Devil? King of Wands. There's a very strong attraction that this person has. They would likely tell you that they understand or admire you in some way or look up to you in some way because of what you've made of your own circumstances in life, that you've probably gotten a big dose of reality check in your life that has made it very difficult for you. They may feel like because of that, you have either been disempowered or been empowered. But it's almost as if they see you as somebody who's been disempowered, and through that disempowerment, you rebuilt yourself in some way and found your power again because you were honest with yourself about it. Like you didn't ignore it, you didn't shy away from it, whatever it is. They would also tell you that the sex is good if this is intimate. Okay. Tell me about that Seven of Cups reversed. The Empress reversed. They probably see you as somebody who is very attached to these perceived reality checks. Okay. So if you have been, let's say, used, they may look at you like somebody who has allowed that to be the mirror for how you see yourself. If you are somebody who has not been chosen, okay, whatever, they may feel like you see that as a mirror to yourself. I feel like this person, if they had the gall, they would probably tell you they were a little obsessed with you, especially sexually. For some of you, this person, if they were totally honest, Jesus Christ himself came down and was like, you have to be honest or you're going to die or you're going to hell. I feel like they would probably say, I tried to make you question your own physical beauty or your sense of handsomeness, whatever gender you identify with, because I didn't want you to leave. I wanted you to question you and your value in general and also in my life to make you uh, less inclined to leave or cheat or whatever. And, you know, people that do that, it's it's an insecurity within self where, okay, because I feel so terrible about myself, I now have to make you feel terrible about yourself. So that way we can lessen the chances of you knowing that you're better than me. Cause in my own head, I feel like you know that. So I have to make you doubt that. Wow, two sixes. I feel like this could really have been something, or maybe it still could be with these two sixes here. But I'm going to say this, there has to be equal give and take. There can't be this condescending, oh, I bring more than you, get this tit for tat. It's not going to work. It's not going to work in the relationship, you know? And to give without expectation, to give without being like, well, when are they going to do this? You know, like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that we shouldn't be treating the other person with respect, but it's about bringing your whole self to the table and not being condescending towards another because maybe they don't have the exact same thing to bring you in that exact same moment. They may have something to offer that maybe isn't money, you know? Or maybe they don't have the looks, but they have something else to offer, right? Or whatever. That's a superficial example, but you know what I'm saying? And being able to appreciate that in one another and understanding that it's not always necessarily equal in the way that we see it. Some of us, you know, we have some of us have a bar of dark chocolate in our pocket. Some of us have an apple in our pocket. Okay, it doesn't make one better than the other. I mean, if you're looking from a health standpoint, but you know what I mean. So, and needing to honor that and understanding that both parties bring gifts to the table. So that is what I have for you, Gemini. Thank you so much. I hope that you will like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to book a super chat question during this live, then you can do so right here on YouTube. All righty. You're welcome, Jamie. No problem. All right, let's go ahead and move on. One sec. Oh, wow, Enigma. Oh, thanks, Kelly. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Taurus. All right, Taurus, let's go ahead and take a look at your person's energy. The Two of Cups reversed. The Seven of Wands for what they would tell you about themselves. The Eight of Wands for what they would tell you about yourself. Okay. Tell me about that Two of Cups reverse. It's like definitely this energy of let me sit with that a second. What's that Ace of Wands reversed? They don't understand you. Or maybe they do. Maybe it's that they feel misunderstood, but there is a disconnect. There is a lack of vulnerability, true, authentic vulnerability. It feels more like a show with that Nine of Pentacles reversed. And these two aces, Ace of Wands in reverse, Ace of Cups reversed, I don't like that, you know? Not that you asked my fucking opinion, but I don't like that because there's no real, at least in their energy, there's no real potential in their energy. There's no real starting something. There's no real inspiration. There's no real authentic vulnerability. It's I must prove something. I must show you that I can do this. I must show you that, you know, this is like I'm going to go broke trying to look rich kind of thing. Not that it doesn't have to be financial, but it's more of a proving something as opposed to actually having that something that you're attempting to prove. And so that's why nothing is really getting off the ground, because they're not showing up with what they actually have. They're showing up with what they wish that they had. But it's actually working against them. Because if their intention is to keep this or to have a genuine start, it's not going to be a genuine start. Because we're showing up in a mask. We're showing up in a clown suit. We're showing up, you know. Then it's like when we take the clown mask off, oh, who the fuck is in my house? No. And this is probably the way that they have had to go about their entire lives, I would imagine. Just having to play this role or play this person in order to get some kind of need met, most likely. Because when we do this, right? And I've done this, we've all done this in one way or another. We have been taught at some point in our lives that this thing about us that is authentically us, this thing with who we truly are, somebody has told us that that is not okay to be that, that that is unattractive, that nobody wants that, that that's gross, that's ugly, that's not sexy, whatever it may be. And so now we have to polish it like a stone, or we have to put a mask on it because we have been taught that that is unacceptable. Jesus Christ, I got to turn this off. And that's probably where this came from. And now what they would tell you is the Seven of Wands, the Justice reverse, and the Four of Pentacles. This is like the chase Like, I would compete for this, or I would go for this. I'm trying to maintain this. But as far as really taking a chance, like really taking an authentic chance, which means showing up as your most vulnerable self, it means building. It means, you know, showing up without the clown suit. But they are having a hard time doing that. And it may also be because there's something that they've done wrong with that justice reverse that they're afraid to tell you. They feel like if they could, they would, but they're having a hard time. So they're just holding back because they fear losing you. They fear if they were honest about, so they're just maintaining what is. I'll maintain what is, but I can't go all the way because I'm going to build it on a lie, or this is non reciprocal, or I have to play this part so you don't go anywhere. What they would tell you about you: Eight of Wands, Hierophant reversed, Knight of Pentacles in reverse. They would tell you that they feel like you're stubborn, you don't have a true foundation to build on, whether that's true or not. And they may feel like you care too much about what people think, or they may feel like it's your way or the highway. And you can be very impulsive, but really without a leg to stand on. Or you may be very impulsive with the things that you say when it comes to your beliefs. They would probably tell you that they feel like something about you is non-traditional or unconventional. They may say that you want to move forward without an actual foundation built. They may feel like you try to shove something down their throat when they don't really believe in it all the time, which keeps you stuck, which keeps them stuck, whatever the case is. Okay, whether that's true or not. And they would also probably say they don't know if they can truly work on this because they feel like your guys' beliefs are so differing, or your values are so different. And they may feel like that's what you feel. And you're going to fight for those beliefs, you know, Eight of Wands, right? That little tiger on there. Even though they don't agree with them. They're like, you know. So I don't know what that means for you. Advice is the Two of Pentacles, the Six of Swords, the Death card. You know, are we actually moving to evolve? Are we actually involving ourselves in conflict with the other in order to evolve the connection, in order to evolve ourselves? Or are we just kind of playing the game here? Are we just kind of like, we're maintaining something? We're just trying to keep the balls in the air, but nothing is actually evolving? Because we're needing to make practical decisions in order to move on from some kind of deception. Because something is deceitful. Something is not totally authentic, you know, and nothing really ever is. But it feels like there's an elephant in the room, or there's something hiding under the bed, and nobody wants to look at it, or somebody refuses to let the other person know that it's actually there. So it really is shit or get off the pot, be authentic or like fuck off, you know, about the relationship, about the connection. Okay. Oof. All right. So thanks a lot, Taurus. I really appreciate it. I hope that you will like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to book a super chat question, you can do so right here on YouTube. I'm getting so pissed. Okay. That thing keeps Xing out. The fuck? Oh. Okay. Aries. All right, Aries. What? Don't, just don't talk to him. Don't pretend like he's not there. Just move. Just don't pay attention to him. Lori, just please block anybody that is being like that, okay? Just don't, you don't even need to address it. Just goodbye. All right, Aries, your person, Knight of Swords reversed. What they would tell you is the Fool. I love this card. With the wolf instead of the little tiny dog. Love that. Love it, love it. Five of Swords for what they would tell you about yourself. Okay, let's see. Okay. You know what? I don't need to say anything. It doesn't matter. That's what I'm getting with this. The Knight of Swords reversed, the Star, the World. This is so beautiful. This is not coming from a place of impulse. This is coming from a place of healthy calculation. This is coming from a place of a healed mind or a healing mind. This is somebody who has quite a bit of hope with you, and they're willing to also share that with you. They may be asking themselves, like, well, maybe when the time is right. They may even be following your lead. But there is a sense of conclusion here in the most beautiful way possible. And the world is the closure for the new beginning to occur. And then what do we have here? The new beginning, right? The world is the end. The Fool is the beginning of the major arcana. The beginning, first card, last card. So it's very interesting that in their energy is the World. There is a completion here, but not in the way where it's done per se. Maybe for some of you it can be closure. But there's still a sense of adventure within the dynamic. There's still a sense of looking at the stars and finding you there, you know, as corny as that sounds. There's a sense of responsibility, authenticity. I feel like this person mentally, spiritually, emotionally had to travel many, many miles to get here. What they would tell you about themselves is that they're ready, that they have likely cleared their heart of much spite, angst, resentment, whatever it is. They would probably tell you that they're thinking more clearly. They're more confident because of these things that they've allowed to heal within themselves and the hope that they have found along the way and the responsibility that they're taking for it. And I feel like this is somebody who would probably tell you that they want to talk to you about it. They would probably tell you everything that's on their mind in one way or another, and they would do so very logically and in a healthy way. This is somebody who would likely tell you that they're very attracted to you and they're ready to end whatever chapter has occurred and they're ready to start anew. But I also feel like this is somebody who would tell you that they are not to be fucked with. That is my opinion. They are not to be fucked with. This is somebody who has likely had to travel miles and miles to find this sense of confidence and mental clarity. What they would tell you about you. What's that Five of Swords? They would probably tell you that in order to be truly understood, you have to stop pretending to be something. In order to truly be loved, you have to stop showing up against who you truly are. They would tell you that you need to be more honest with yourself in order to get out of that mindset. They may not feel like you're manipulative towards them, maybe, but they may feel like you manipulate your own mind to think in a certain way when they feel like the truth will bring you clarity that manipulation never could. They may also tell you that the people you surround yourself with aren't necessarily real. They may also see you as somebody who will try their very best to get some form of validation from other people, even if these people are not authentic to them or to you. They feel like you know the truth and you hold it in your hands, but they feel like you lack direction. And a lot of the causes for your disappointments are because of yourself and because of your need for that validation or your need for some kind of attention. And you know that, but you bury it. Bury the truth like bones in the backyard that you don't want anybody to see because you're ashamed of them. Whether that's true or not, okay? But for some reason they still for some reason that sounds really bad, but they still see something with you. They still see it. The advice is the Hermit in reverse, the Two of Swords, and the Four of Swords. So somebody here, maybe both of you, really needs to stop before they're ahead. So it's really about needing to find that time of isolation and contemplation and healing and needing to be alone instead of constantly feeling like your mind is clouded by these faux friendships or this fake validation that you feel like you need or something like that. Okay? If this is for you. But ultimately, generally, this is about self-awareness. And this is not about avoiding oneself, but understanding oneself and how you got here and not trying to act indifferent about it, but truly sitting with it and being honest so that way you can move forward, so that way you can understand or somebody can understand that what they're looking for is not and has never been outside of themselves. Okay. So that is what I have for you, Aries. Thank you so much. I hope that you will like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to book a super chat question, you can do so right here on YouTube. Alrighty. Time for super chat questions. Questions. Okay. Sorry. All right. Let's see here. We got my girl Karmic Karen. I'm a Virgo Sun, Mercury, Venus, South Node, and Rising. Damn. What does Aquarius think of our relationship? Eight of Cups reversed and the Hermit in reverse. This makes me feel like there are still some things that may be unsettled, and he may feel like this is on an individual level, either within himself or in regards to you. But because it's the relationship, and that's the question that you asked, I would imagine that he feels that way about both of you. Like there's something that is unresolved in some kind of way. And he feels like that may somehow affect the connection. Thanks a lot, Karen. I really appreciate you. We have MC. Is my coworker Chris crushing on me? His thoughts and feelings. Let me see. Mm. Ace of Pentacles reversed with the Five of Pentacles. He may feel a little out in the cold, or he may feel like there's maybe something missing here. He may feel as well like there's some kind of false start, or he has to leave this out in the cold, or in order to have this, he would have to leave somebody else out in the cold. But there doesn't really seem, he feels like it's not tangible or it's not practical. Like it's not something he can necessarily build, or he may feel like he doesn't even really have something to offer you because of that Ace of Pentacles and reverse Five of Pentacles. This can be like where we actually don't feel like we have anything to offer, really. Let me see feelings. Six of Wands reversed and the Three of Swords reversed. Okay. So this is one of two things. Maybe it's both. I don't know. There could be this energy of him dealing with issues around validation or even a sense of entitlement. Maybe it's a sense of narcissism, even. Of course, I'm not diagnosing anybody. I'm obviously not a psychologist, okay? But sometimes the Six of Wands in reverse can indicate that. And being that the Three of Swords in reverse is here, this seems like something that's been with him for a very, very long time. So he may feel entitled to your attention or your validation in some way, and he may feel like regardless, you're gonna give it to him. Now, this can also be that he feels like you don't give him some kind of attention or the kind of validation that he wants, or maybe he feels like he doesn't give that to you. And so it's maybe triggering some kind of internal wound, whether that's true or not. Okay. So sorry. Sorry, MC. I know that sounded crappy, but thank you so much. Then we have 10. Hello, Violetta. Straight to the point question. How does I'm just gonna say Andre feel about me? Any romantic feelings from his end, or should I just drop it as this will not go anywhere? Let's see what his feelings are for you. I don't feel like he's avoiding it. I feel like there's optimism, but there's no really like there's no decision of like, yeah, I'm gonna commit to this person. The decision is more around like, yeah, I'll see how it goes. See what happens. The Wheel of Fortune is just kind of like, see what happens. It's staying optimistic. It's not trying to control anything. It's just kind of saying like maybe there will be something there. Maybe there won't. Who knows? Let's see what you should do about it. Ugh. Let's just ask why. The Hangman. I feel like there's a lot that you probably don't see. This person could have addictions. This person could have certain perspectives that you wouldn't necessarily agree with. But the Ten of Swords and the Death card is like, get out while you can. I feel like there's a lot more about this person that you don't know. Okay. Like something is a little bit iffy. Something you can't see all of it right now. I'm sorry. God damn. These super chats are kind of making me nervous here. Thank you a lot, Tim. I'm sorry that sounded so crappy. Then we have Jerry. Hi, ma'am. What was left unsaid with regards to their person on my mind? Truth, wants, and feelings recently whilst I was away. Okay. What was left unsaid with regards to their truth? Okay. Ace of Swords and the Four of Wands, they seem to be pretty clear about how they want to break free or what kind of relationship that they want. Maybe they want to go out and have fun. That can be the Four of Wands. Maybe they want marriage. But the Ace of Swords with the Four of Wands is somebody who seems to be pretty clear, or maybe they feel like they made themselves very clear in regards to what it is that they want and what it is that they want to celebrate in their life, what they want to have in order to celebrate it. And let me see. Let me see what the truth is about their wants and their feelings for you. The Eight of Cups in reverse and the Ace of Cups in reverse is like, they may feel like you're just settling for them, or they may even feel like sometimes they settle because there's not a level of vulnerability that they want or that they're even necessarily comfortable with. So they may want a lot of the times to come back around or revisit this, but they can feel like, God, I don't know if there's anything here with that Ace of Cups in reverse, or this makes me very drained, or I feel like Jerry just cares about himself, or whatever it may be. So while I feel like this person knows very much what they want, they may feel like you're uncertain, or it may be that there's like an insecurity around the emotions between the two of you. Thank you so much, Jerry. I really appreciate it. Then we got my girl Ashley B. What is coming my way in love? Currently in a relationship I'm unsure about. All right, let me see. Judgment in reverse, Eight of Swords, and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. It feels like we're kind of at a standstill, and it feels like we're at a standstill because a decision isn't really being made, or we're burying things that we shouldn't be, or we're misjudging something. We are not taking accountability, and so it's keeping us in a loop. It's keeping us fearful. It's keeping us feeling like we're stuck, but really all we need to do is take accountability, or we need to actually work on ourselves, or work on it, or tell the truth, or whatever it is. But because we're not doing that, we're stuck at a standstill. Nothing is really moving. And then we start to criticize the other person. We start to criticize ourselves, whatever it is. What is his feelings for her? Let me see that. My goodness gracious. Star reverse, Seven of Cups reverse, Three of Cups reverse. I don't know if there's like an external force that's influencing this connection in some way, but I certainly feel like it may be. And he could feel like there's another person simply giving him some kind of reality check about the situation. So I don't know if that's one of his bros, or I don't know if that's his mom. I don't know who it is that may be influencing his decision in regards to this or the way that he sees it, but it's causing him to not feel a whole lot of hope. Okay. Or not healing the situation in the way that he maybe should, or feels like he even should. Your advice is King of Pentacles, the Three of Wands in reverse, and the Empress in reverse. So, my feelings for this are he may be having certain expectations of you that you can't necessarily provide at this moment, or vice versa. And so I feel like he may want a relationship, but with that Empress in reverse, you may be over giving to the connection, or this may have you in a chokehold where it's like you're over worrying, or you're questioning yourself, or you're questioning your own sense of self worth and self value. And when it's really about you needing to set some form of standard in order to give people the handbook of how they should be treating you. So, but I feel like you need to create this handbook for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that that makes sense. But thank you so much. I'm sorry that sounded so damn crappy, but I love you. Thanks a lot, Ashley. Best of luck, of course. What's up, Monica? Nice to see you. What should I expect? No, for the rest of April. Okay. The Lovers reverse, the Chariot, the Queen of Swords, the Five of Cups. You may end up going on a road trip. Okay, that's possible. Or you may be trying to maybe get a new car, something to do with a car, something to do with travel, potentially. Okay. I feel like you're this Queen of Swords. I feel like you're in the right mind of things. What I will say is be cautious of saying things that maybe you regret, or totally going after a specific person that you may feel blames you for everything, or you may end up having the courage to go after somebody that really doesn't meet your needs, doesn't really make much sense, or doesn't hold the same values as you. Now, what I will say is you can be leaving someone or something in the dust that no longer aligns with who you are on a fundamental level. And I feel like with that Chariot and that Queen of Swords, you're trying to make the best decisions. I do think that there's something that you're probably leaving in the past that you wish could have turned out a bit differently, but you're understanding as well that you kind of have to move forward. So, what I want to say with this is try to kind of turn that Five of Cups upside down. Like, yes, there's something that maybe you had to leave, or maybe somebody had to leave you, or something like that. You had to leave it in the dust. But it's asking you to take what is left and apply it to your life to continue to move forward. Because I feel like you have the gall. I feel like you have the courage. I do feel like you're in the right mind of things. But I do also feel, because that Queen of Swords is a woman who had her heart broken many, many, many times, or has dealt with a lot of shit in life, and now she isn't so focused on her heart per se. She is more so severing the heart from the head and looking at them as different entities. And she starts to make more logical decisions, as to where before she would put everybody before herself, or she would make illogical decisions because, well, these are her feelings. I don't feel like you're doing that. So I feel like it wants to tell you to have the courage to keep moving in the direction that you need to, but learn how to apply that wisdom that you kind of from that experience that you needed to leave behind into the future. Thanks a lot, Monica. Lisa Miller, how does he feel about me? Stay or go? Let's see how he feels about you first. The Six of Pentacles in reverse, the Ten of Pentacles. He may want a lot for a little, okay, with that Ten of Pentacles. What happens if she stays? The Five of Swords, what happens if she goes? Six of Swords. So I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to go with exactly what I said in just a second ago. I feel like he wants more than maybe he can give. He may end up taking advantage of the situation, or he may end up kind of riding your coattails in some way. I don't know if that's socially, I don't know if that's spiritually, but in order to meet some kind of end goal for him. So it may feel like he wants a long-term relationship, or it may feel like it'll go the distance, but I feel like it's going to be riding off your coattails in some way, or biting off you in some way, or taking advantage, or demeaning what it is that you have to offer. If you were to stay, I have the Five of Swords. It'd be a lot of deception. It would be a lot of conditional love. If you left, you would feel better. Five of Swords, Six of Swords. You would feel better. You would get away from some kind of manipulation, some kind of deception, some kind of drama. So I would say go, but it's totally up to you, obviously. Thanks a lot, Lisa. We have Jin X, which is such a funny name, honestly. Let's see. Jin X. Will I reconcile with my husband in separation, or is he in love with someone else? Let's see if you're going to reconcile with him first. Woo! You have the Nine of Wands reversed, the Queen of Wands reversed, and the King of Cups. So I'm going to hit you with the bad news first. He is tired, okay? And he probably knows that you are as well. He may perceive you as somebody who is either jealous or angry with him, whatever the emotion may be, and he feels like there are a lot of insecurities that you have. Maybe it was induced by him. I mean, I have no idea, but he is really tired of fighting some kind of battle between the two of you, and he specifically feels like you're very upset with him for some reason. That King of Cups tells me he is in love with you, and he does love you, although he doesn't express it all the time. But I do think that it's hard for him to hold space for these emotions that he thinks that you may have, that he feels like he also can't contain or can't control. Is he in love with someone else? No. I don't think he's in love with anybody else, but this is what I will say. King of Wands reversed, Page of Swords reversed, Knight of Wands reversed. There's love when it comes to you. When it comes to the other side of his life, where it's needing to meet his ego, needing some kind of sense of validation, needing to feel more confident in himself through inauthentic means, he is probably doing that. So maybe he is, talking to somebody and he knows it's really not going to go anywhere. He's making a lot of assumptions, a lot of naive assumptions that are probably going to get him into some hot water, or even at the very least, highly humbled. So I feel like he's been quite humbled by his experience after you. Because that King of Wands in reverse, Page of Swords in reverse, it's a Knight of Wands in reverse. Yeah. So he's been pretty humbled. I feel like his need for validation, um, has almost superseded his, not his love for you, but his actions towards you, I guess you could say. Your advice in regards to this, it's saying with that Two of Pentacles in reverse and the World in reverse, there's something that is creating a lot of chaos in your mind and in your heart, and it has to be completed. Like, something about it has to be completed in some kind of way, and the World is a peaceful completion. And the Two of Pentacles likes to show up when we are or biting off more than we can chew. So for instance, like, this is just a really superficial example, but let's say that you may love him. There may be even a mutual understanding that the two of you actually really do love each other, but maybe you keep looking at his Instagram story and, you see him out at the bar, and it's like, maybe you shouldn't do that to yourself. You know what I'm saying? And it's really hard not to do that, right? But that's kind of what I'm getting here. So I don't know. I feel like something does need to close out. It doesn't mean it needs to end, but like a cycle or some way of dealing with something, it needs to end. I feel like we're needing to take more practical steps towards whatever it is that you're desiring. Okay. Uh, Thank you so much, Gen X. I really appreciate you very much. Then we have my girl Leo Empress. What is coming towards me in love? Thank you. Absolutely. Let's see. Okay. Okay. What's that Seven of Swords reverse? Five of Wands reverse. Okay. Could be a fire sign. I'm getting strong fire here. I'm not mad at it. Okay. Seven of Swords in reverse, clarified by the Five of Wands reversed, and then we have the Temperance and the Page of Wands. So you seem to be having, it could be a younger fire sign, could be anybody, but it seems like there's somebody here who is reaching out to you. It feels authentic. It feels warm. It feels peaceful. It feels patient. It feels cute. It feels flirty. The Seven of Swords in reverse, this person may be almost like abundantly honest with you. It's it what this is giving me is like, listen, I just want to lay this out on the table, before we get started here, before I take you out on a date. Maybe it's like, hey, listen, I was indoctrinated into this cult growing up and I have some trauma. It can't be something like that. Or I had a really abusive mother and like that has really given me some mommy issues or whatever. But it's showing up in a very high vibrational way. It feels very fiery. So, what else? Oh, the Hierophant, the Four of Swords reverse. This is somebody who understands themselves. I also see Taurus energy here. This is somebody who understands themselves and has probably had to go on a really big healing journey to understand their own religious or spiritual views, Hierophant, what they want in a relationship, and really who they are on a fundamental level. I love this. Okay. You have the best super chat of the night. I know everybody else is pissed off right now. I'm sorry, guys. You do have the best one, though. Let's see what your advice is. Justice reversed, Queen of Pentacles reversed, Nine of Cups. If you want what it is that you want, I need you to make sure that you are first taking care of yourself before putting others in front of yourself, because you're definitely not going to manifest what it is that you want that way. You think that you will by like either people pleasing or constantly putting everybody first and, giving yourself the scraps, right? You're making dinner for everybody and you're like, well, I'll just eat off your guys' plate of the stuff that you don't want or whatever it is. You're not going to get what it is that you want that way. So I feel like when you put the energy on you and you show yourself how much you are worth to you, other people are going to see that and they're going to emulate that and they're going to mirror that. Okay. Thank you so much, Leo Empress. Then we got my girl Cassie. All right. Transforming is rough. Will you give me something to look forward to, doll, please? And thank you. Absolutely. Let's see only the good coming towards Cassie within the next 3 months. The Strength, the Nine of Swords in reverse. There's something that you've been through probably on a mental level where maybe you feel like you still need to worry about it now, but within the next 3 months, you're going to see that it just made you stronger and it gave you a more solid foundation for your level of confidence in who you are and also your heart space. And so something that you may feel like you need to worry about now, you're going to realize that within the next 3 months, you actually never needed to worry about it at all. The Devil and the Three of Pentacles. I feel like you're going to find power through some kind of collaboration, or you're going to find your power through something that you have to offer to a group or to some kind of collaboration or to people that you work with, or somebody is going to offer you something. You may end up learning something from another person that ends up empowering you more than you realize. It may be okay as well, like if you're in the workforce, okay, you may meet a very 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 strong sexual partner. Okay. So something to keep in mind. Strong Capricorn energy here with that Mars and Capricorn, and then the Devil, and also Leo energy as well. You will find a lot of power in what you know and the action that you take within the next 3 months as well. Thanks a lot, Cass. We got my girl Faye. Let me go ahead and make sure that I... Damn it. Oh my God, Faye, I just saw your, I just read your question. All right, let's see here. Okay. Faye, excuse me. What were the Scorpio's reasons for reaching out yesterday? We got nowhere. The Tower. Well, that's them. Being a damn Scorpio, probably wanting your affection, your love. I don't know if this person is in love with you, if you guys have had that kind of relationship before, but it seems like this person maybe was trying to change your feelings about something or change how you feel about them potentially. I feel like if there are feelings on your side, whatever those may be, whether they're volatile, positive, I feel like they are mutual. The Sun, he wanted to, it seems like he wanted to get more information around how you feel about something or about where you were at emotionally. Because it seems like there's some level of optimism here. You may make this person happy, put a smile on their face, whatever it is. Tell me about that Tower. Eight of Pentacles. He wanted you to put in work towards this. I think that he may have wanted to as well. He may have also wanted to see if the standard changed. So if you had a really high standard before, maybe he wanted to see if that changed. But ultimately, it makes me feel like it was a check-in or wanted to see where you were at or something like that. What does he want with her? To be an idiot, Page of Cups reversed, Ace of Wands reversed. It just feels like a false start. Like we're playing around. I don't like that. It feels like maybe he wanted more from you than he's even not even willing, but even has it to give. You know, it just seems like a false start. It seems like boy shit, really. Page of Cups reversed. Maybe we want to play victim. You know, maybe he wants to play victim in order to get some kind of sympathy. You know, maybe he wants to manipulate the situation so he can feel better about himself, or he like wants to know how you feel so he can feel better about himself, whatever the thing is. But there's definitely a level of immaturity coming from this person that's not cute. Your advice about this person is the Knight of Swords reversed, the Ten of Wands reversed, and the Eight of Wands. Don't take a passive approach to this person. Like, if you feel like maybe they are being passive aggressive, or you feel like they're wasting your time, or you feel like they're making things harder on you than it needs to be, don't make things harder on you, and speak your mind and be like, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and kick rocks, or this is how I feel, or question them. You know, I'm not saying you got to interrogate them. You know how Scorpios are going to get with that. But if there's anybody that can interrogate a Scorpio, it's probably going to be their sister sign, which is Taurus. So that's you. So, you know, but express yourself. Express yourself if you feel like you need to and make your point very fucking clear. Like, Eight of Wands is Mercury in Sagittarius. It's very blunt, you know? It's very blunt. So be blunt. Doesn't mean you got to be an asshole, but, you know, be blunt. Thanks a lot, Faye. Medalis, why did this Cancer block me? Let's see. Ten of Cups reversed. High Priestess, Page of Pentacles. There may have been an offer, another offer that they were giving to somebody, like a High Priestess type, maybe. And the High Priestess is like the occultist, you know, or the uh somebody he may have felt like he desired. Okay. But the Ten of Cups in reverse makes me feel like maybe he didn't really know if this had the longevity with the Ten of Cups in reverse, or maybe the give me one more. Why did he do that? The Two of Wands reversed, because there was an uncertainty about what it was that he was pursuing. And the Ten of Cups in reverse, maybe this was like a past relationship that got in the way, but the High Priestess and the Page of Pentacles, it makes me feel like he was maybe offering something to someone else. What was his feelings for Medalis? The Four of Cups and the Four of Pentacles. God damn. It's a little pretentious, I'm not gonna lie. It's like, this is like Moon in Cancer, Sun in Capricorn. This is Moon in Cancer, Sun in Capricorn. I mean, what an interesting combination, you know. Um, it's almost like they felt apprehensive towards really taking a chance with you because they either heard something that they didn't like, or they were ungrateful to you, or there was a comparison, or like something weird like that. And so it just seems like they were holding back, but it does feel like they were offering something to someone else, or they were invested somewhere else, or because what comes before the page of Pentacles is the Ten of Pentacles. So they may have felt maybe something was complete, or maybe they were trying to rebuild something that they had. But I feel like basically they felt like maybe this wasn't necessarily emotionally authentic to them, 10 of cups in reverse. And so they could have maybe offered something else to someone else. I hate to say that, but like that's what it fucking feels like. Your advice, Seven of Pentacles, the Emperor, the Magician. I feel like you could attract an Emperor anyway, so I feel like this doesn't really matter. That not that your feelings don't matter about the situation, but I feel like you could probably get somebody who's a little bit, I don't want to say higher up, like this person is low. I don't know who this person is, but somebody who is all of the kings combined. Let me put it like that. This could also be about you not doubting yourself because of somebody else's action or inaction. And this is you starting to take control over your life, or understanding that you have better fish to fry, or bigger fish to fry, or better investments to make, especially regarding the longevity of you or your personal sense of power. Because the Emperor is like, I don't have time for this shit. I have to do things. I have things that I have to do. And the Magician is telling you that whatever it is that you need to really be accomplishing in your life, you have everything that you need in order to set out those accomplishments and actually follow through with them. So I feel like it's like, well, it is what it is kind of thing. But it's asking you to empower yourself through this experience. Thank you, Medalis. Christelle, what are Alex's current feelings towards me? Is there anything I should be doing about our current situation? All right, let me see his feelings. Okay. There's a little bit of immaturity here. The Moon reverse, King of Swords reverse, Six of Cups reverse. It's so when it comes to this person and their emotions, I do feel like there's an avoidance. I feel like there's an avoidance because there's a fear. Um, and I don't know what negative experience is attached to that fear, but it's there and it's prevalent. And I feel like this person gaslights themselves out of their own emotions. And then they go into this like inner child immaturity phase where they start to maybe make up things in their own head about, I don't know, spite, or about some kind of grudge that they may feel like they need to hold against you for whatever reason. But there may be some kind of grudge that is held against you. And if it's not a grudge, then it's most likely immaturity. But I definitely think that there are things that this person is hiding or suppressing from you. I'm not saying they have to be nefarious, but it's not, you know, what's the moon in reverse? Let me just ask. The Seven of Wands. They seem to be definitely keeping some space from you understanding their fears, or knowing their true emotions, or seeing behind the mask, or whatever it may be. There's a 10 feet scenario happening here. Knight of Cups, the Fool, and the Nine of Pentacles for what you should do. So the only thing that you can really do is show up as your best vulnerable self. Show up free, lighthearted, just with you and your spirit, but at the same time putting yourself first at the end of the day, especially if somebody is not accepting your level of vulnerability, your level of emotional maturity, or they're not actually taking action. It's like one of those things where it's like, okay, well, I'm good on my own, and understanding that you are good on your own. Understanding that you can enjoy your life all by yourself. Okay. If somebody's not reciprocating, this is a lesson to fall back, or this may be a sign to fall back and focus on self. That's what the Nine of Pentacles is. And it's asking you to do so in a lighthearted way, not necessarily regretting the love or the vulnerability that you gave somebody, but being open to that, but also understanding when sometimes it's like, okay, well, you know what? If it's not being reciprocated, I'm not going to continue to give you something that you don't appreciate anyway. Okay. And I don't know if he doesn't appreciate it. That's just an example. So you can take action, absolutely. If you feel like that's authentic to your heart and you feel like this person nurtures that, then great, you know? But at the same time, don't put this person's needs completely in front of your own. This is asking you to practice full-blown independence to a point, okay? Thank you so much, Christine. Then we have Stella. Thank you so much, Stella. What am I being called to release, reclaim, and rise into during the next chapter of becoming? Ooh, what a beautiful question. And what soul aligned blessings are waiting when I do? P.S. Your energy is so grounding and elevating. Grateful for your gifts. You are so cute. Stop. Oh my God. That's so nice. Thank you. All right, let me see. What are you being called to release? Ooh, that Phoenix. Well, the Phoenix, as you probably know, you're clearly probably a spiritual person watching tarot, but the Phoenix is all about rising from the ashes. And in this particular card, in this particular deck, the Phoenix is about having beauty on your side. So whether that is, physical beauty, whether that is emotional beauty, I'm sure that you have all of them. Okay. But it's probably asking you to um, release your fear of some kind of change in your life or some kind of insecurity that you have that would actually challenge you to reclaim some kind of power if you were to actually utilize it and see that it's there. If you were to actually own some kind of part of you. Like, for instance, what I mean by this is like, I'm a writer, I love to write, but I'm also pathetically vulnerable, and sometimes it can be quite humiliating. I'm very sensitive, I'm very vulnerable, and sometimes I get embarrassed by it. More so in the past than now, but I was like, "You know what? I can't be anything else, and that's just who I'm going to be, and who fucking cares?" You know, the people that will love that are going to love that, and that's it. And so I feel like if there's a fear around that, you're needing to release that kind of fear here. Queen of Wands in reverse. If you have any insecurity about those gifts or about that change or about kind of this rising from the ashes, it's asking you to take the lead in that regard. Because the Queen of Wands in reverse, there's an insecurity that she has around that. There's an insecurity that she has around people seeing her shadow side, people seeing the ugly side or the super vulnerable side that we may perceive as ugly, but it's asking you to release the idea that you don't, or you perceive that as disempowering as opposed to empowering, whatever that specific thing is for you. I need you to be seen. I need you to be seen. I feel like the more that you are seen, the more that you allow yourself to be seen, the more that you allow yourself to be authentically you in your sense of vulnerability, the more acceptance that you're going to feel. And it's not necessarily that you need acceptance, but the Six of Wands is this validation, these accolades after accomplishing something. After what? What comes before the Six of Wands? The Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is that conflict. The Five of Wands can be ego. The Five of Wands can be inner conflict, outer conflict, whatever it is. And allowing yourself to overcome that either internal conflict or whatever it is in your life, whether it's insecurity, ego, etc., and then through that, whatever that is, like I was telling you about the insecurity around being too vulnerable, right? Pathetically vulnerable, and overcoming that, and watch what actually happens. Because when you're authentic to that, when you're authentic to your soul, when you're authentic to your heart in that way, that's when the authentic experiences come to you. And then what happens? Then you feel more fulfilled in life. Why? Because it is authentic to you, because you are being true to you, to your heart space. Mm. There may be some pain that you're holding on to. I don't know if it's the pain of some kind of death that you experienced, like a person died in your life. I don't know if it was from some kind of addiction. Maybe you had it, somebody else had it. There's some kind of pain that still lingers, but you have to utilize it. It's asking you to utilize it, not as something that can tear you down, but something that you allow to rebuild you. Because I feel like, I identify with my pain a lot, but it's not necessarily the identification of the pain itself. It's the identification of the survival. And then it's the identification of not just the surviving, but actually living now and being there to tell the tale and help others, right? And so it reminds me of the analogy that I gave. So somebody had told me that. Somebody once had told me, "You are not your pain." And I said, "Yeah, I'm not my pain, but pain is kind of like this." And I explained that, let's say that a woman ends up getting pregnant, right? She ends up getting pregnant and then she has the baby. And let's say that that baby passes away. Just because that baby passes away, she will never not be a mother. She will never have not went through that. You will see it. You will see it on her body, right? The stretch marks, that symbolism of sacrifice, hangman, and love, and the loss of it. What do they say? Grief is just love with nowhere to go, right? So even though that baby is gone, she is still a mother, and that is a huge part of her, and that is okay. She survived the childbirth, right? See the stretch marks. So regardless, she will always be that. So it's something like that with you. Okay. Not saying like you've lost a child or anything like that. I mean, I don't know, but hopefully not. But you know what I mean. Um, and then your advice here, or you asked what is going to happen if you do. Eight of Cups reversed, the Three of Pentacles, the Hermit. Once you start to do this, a chance that you thought was lost in regards to maybe other people or a collaboration or some kind of community will come back around as a second chance or a third chance in some kind of way. So something that you may feel like you have lost, and it's something that is essentially you, about you, and authentic to you, the Hermit. So that's what I have for you. Thank you so much, Stella. All right. Then let's go ahead and hold on. Okay, there we go. Okay. Damn it. All right, sorry guys, hold on. What the fuck? Where am I? Okay, there we go. Sorry. Okay. All right. What's up, Dina? It's nice to see you. Dina Snyder. What's good, V? A friend of mine who has trouble with the law. There's been a weird vibe between us lately. My question, are my assumptions correct about the vibe I have been catching? Ooh. I don't think so. Can I be honest with you? Like, I see, the thing is I'm nervous because I don't know who this person is. Okay. And I don't want to steer you wrong, but I'm gonna go with my gut with this one. So you're asking, is your assumption correct about or your assumptions correct about the vibe that you've been catching? The Seven of Pentacles in reverse with the Nine of Swords to the Queen of Swords reversed, this can indicate somebody who is wasting a lot of time or energy on something that's not actually real, or something that may happen that hasn't actually happened. Nine of Swords. And it can be because of assumptions, Queen of Swords in reverse, or it can be because of some kind of emotions that you have to this person's maybe experience, right? The law or something like that. So I'm not saying that maybe you're not wrong about everything, but about something specific, no. I think that it's more so in your head, which I hate to say that because, like, I'm paranoid, I don't want to ever steer you wrong. I don't want you to come back and be like, this person stole my car. I'm like, fuck. I don't want to do that to you, but I have to tell you, I don't think so. I don't think that you are correct. I think that it's more in your head. Okay. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but the Nine of Swords is more so we're worrying about something that isn't actually occurring. Okay. So at least let me pull you some advice. The King of Wands, Seven of Wands reversed. Okay. So the King of Wands is like the leader, okay? The King of Wands is the leader. He's very confident. He's an entrepreneur. He has strong boundaries. He has a great big heart. The Seven of Wands in reverse can be a sense of like not maintaining something, or it can be like we're feeling defensive or we're feeling intimidated in some way. It's probably asking you to stay confident in your boundaries and making sure that you're taking the lead in in this connection. So if there is a paranoia, or if there's some kind of concern, it's asking you to take the lead, be confident. And if you feel like you need to put up appropriate boundaries, then absolutely do so. If you feel like you need to communicate or question something, absolutely do so. And it's telling you to be confident in that. Don't feel intimidated by this person or feel, you know, like say your shit, you know what I mean? Or put up the boundaries. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Small TV. We were doing Hipsy tonight. It was on YouTube. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I love you. Have a beautiful evening. Lori, thank you so much. You are absolutely incredible. I love all of you, and I hope that you have a good night's sleep. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. I literally cannot see if my shit has stopped or not. It's telling me that like I'm still going. It's not like in real time. Let me